welcome back to my channel. Today I have a list of books about standing up to bullies. October is Bullying Prevention Month, and I do already have a video of anti-bullying books, and I'll leave that linked either here or here, I never remember which side it's on, and also in the description box down below. But these ones are a little bit different. This one is about standing up to bullies, either for yourself or as a bystander, and I think this is just as powerful for students to learn about and get comfortable with and understand what it means and why it's important. So we're going to go through a whole list of books about standing up to bullies today. But if you're new here, my name is Sarah. I'm from The Colorful Apple, and I love to share picture books and picture book ideas with teachers like you so that you can use more read-alouds in your classroom. Because read-alouds and picture books are such a powerful tool in the classroom that I think often gets underutilized. And I want to share with you different ways that you can use picture books, especially across the curriculum, in those areas like social emotional learning, which we'll learn about today, science, social studies, as well as reading and writing. And so if that is something you're interested in, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that red subscribe button, as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss a video. But now, let's jump into those books. The first book that I have is The Together Tree by Aisha Saeed. And this one really empowers bystanders to stand up to bullies. And it talks about how every bystander, no matter how small, has the power to extend kindness and stand up in the face of intolerance. So a young child named Rumi is at a new school, and he's very quiet, and he starts to get bullied by other kids because he is quiet and because of the color of his bright shoes. And so he finds refuge beneath this large willow tree and kind of creates his own world of belonging and kindness. And then one day when Rumi becomes a target again, one of his classmates stands up to defend him. And in that moment, Rumi and his class realize that underneath the willow tree is a place of belonging and kindness where everyone can be together. So The Together Tree is a great book for teaching students about the power of being a bystander and that they can stand up to bullies even when it's not themselves being bullied, but that they have that responsibility to stand up to the bully as well. The next book that I have is Lola and the Troll by Connie Schultz. And this one talks about instilling the confidence to confront the bully, which is so hard for students and even adults. So that's what this book is talking about. In this book, a young girl named Lola decides to stand up to a bully. Lola is a happy kid who loves her imaginary dog. His name is Tink, but there's just one problem in Lola's life, and that is the neighborhood bully. And this neighborhood bully hides behind a troll mask and is making fun of her every day she walks home from school. So Lola starts to wear her hair differently. She starts to walk on her tippy toes to feel a little bit taller. She even puts cornstarch in her shoes because the bully says that her feet stink. And then one day her mom takes her to her favorite place, the bookstore, and the owner of the bookstore reminds her what a wonderful girl she is, how she loves her hair and her beautiful smile, and reminds her that she's brave and that she needs to remember to be brave even when it's really hard. And Lola learns to stand up to the bully and realize that what he just might need is a little bit of kindness. Another good book for talking about standing up to bullies to use in your classroom. This next one I have shared on this channel before. This one is Stacys Extraordinary Words by Stacey Abrams. And this one models the power of words and how they can be used to both harm and help. So Stacey is a little girl who loves words more than anything. She loves reading them, she loves sounding them out, she just finds comfort in them, especially when times are hard. So because she loves words so much, her teacher chooses her to participate in the spelling bee. But while she's excited, she's also really nervous. What if she messes up? What if she spells a word wrong? And what if she just can't speak up, which sometimes happens when she has to face the bullies at school? Stacey eventually learns that whether she wins or she loses, that words are the most powerful thing of all. So another great book about using your words to be helpful instead of harmful especially when it comes to bullying. The next book that I have for Bullying Prevention Month is One by Catherine Otoshi. This book shows how it takes just one voice to make a difference. Blue is a quiet color, but red is hot-headed and likes to pick on blue. Yellow, orange, green, and purple don't like what they see, but what can they do? And I think that's something that that's maybe the attitude that students often take. Like, they see that this is happening, but they're like, I don't know what to do, so I'm not going to do anything. And in this book, when no one speaks up, things start to get out of hand until one comes along and shows all the colors how to stand up, how to stand together, and make a difference. So again, in this book, readers learn about accepting others' differences, but also how it sometimes just takes one voice to make things count, to make a difference. Another great book. The next book that I have is Kiki Kicks, and this is by Jane Yolen. I realized I had never heard of this book before, but it is fairly new. It just came out last year, so it is a fairly new book. I just realized that I had never really heard of this book before, but that's because it is brand new. It just came out last year. But this is another great book about standing up to bullies. And it encourages readers to be strong for the right reasons. So Kiki has watched her mama practice karate for a long time. And now she wants to learn too. She wants to become strong for the right reasons. And she talks about how the bullies at school are strong, but for the wrong reasons. These bullies at school make Kiki feel small, but when she goes to her first martial arts class, she learns to rebuild that confidence and her strength and her peace through these martial arts lessons. So this is actually a story kind of woven through and interspersed with Jane Yolen's famous poem, Karate Kid. And so you'll see both of those as you read the book. And then in the back, there's also some back matter that includes how the story came to be and the author's own personal experiences with martial arts and how that has helped them become strong and confident, especially when they were faced with bullies as a child. So another great book for helping students understand what it means to stand up to a bully. This next one I have shared before on this channel, I Walk with Vanessa, a story about a simple act of kindness by Kara Scoett. And this one talks about how a community is inspired to stand up to bullying. And this is, I believe, a wordless book. I don't remember if there's a few words, but I think it's completely wordless. A completely wordless book, which I think has even more power because students see the illustrations and are kind of forming that story in their own head and coming to their own conclusions in their own heads. So I think sometimes the wordless picture books are really more powerful when it comes to topics like this. This book is inspired by true events, and what happens is a young girl is being bullied and another child is a bystander and decides to not only stand up to the bully, but encourage the community and the other children around to stand up to this bully in order to protect this young girl with the girl Vanessa. And I think by being a wordless picture book, it also shows students that they can be an ally without even having to say a word, that their actions are just as powerful, if not more, than using their words sometimes. So I think we have a good balance of the books that I'm sharing today of using your words as well as using your actions to stand up to bullies in ways that students might be more comfortable with or more prone to act upon. But a great book about acceptance, kindness, and strength in numbers, especially within a community. So another great book for Bullying Prevention Month and standing up to bullies. Next, I have one that would be good for younger students. My books are tipping over here. I have too many. This one is Llama and the Bully Go by Anna Dudney. And so again, many of your younger students probably love Llama. Great stories targeted towards those younger ages with simple words, simple terms that they can connect with. But this one reminds students that it's important to ask for help when they are being bullied. which can be really hard. So in this book, Llama is learning lots of new things at school and is really enjoying it until Gilroy Goat starts bullying them. And Llama doesn't really know what to do. But then he remembers that his teacher taught him to walk away and to ask for help, so that's what he does, and it works. But then, and I think this is also important, he wonders if he and Gilroy can be friends again. And I think that brings home another important point, that just because someone is bullying you, they can change their ways and you can be friends with them if they have made those changes. So a great one for the younger crowd. Next is one of my favorite characters, and I actually have two books. The first one is Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon, and then I also have Speak Up, Molly Lou Melon, both by Patti LaBelle. But I just love Molly Lou Melon, and she is short and clumsy. She has buck teeth and a voice that sounds like a bullfrog being squeezed by a boa constrictor. But she doesn't mind. Her grandmother has always told her to stand proud, smile big, and sing loud. And so that's what Molly Lou Melon does, even when she's faced with a bully. And so this one shows that just being yourself and being true to yourself can sometimes take down that bullying behavior. That she shows that even though she's being bullied, and it can be hard for students, she just continues to be herself, and the bully does back down. And the same thing in Speak Up, Molly Lou Melon. This one talks more about speaking up for yourself and for others. And her mom has taught her to use her big voice for good and to speak up for what's right, for those who can't, and even when it's hard. So she does. And then when a new school year starts and a bully starts to pick on a new student, Molly Lou Melon knows just what to do. And so she shows how speaking up is always the right choice, even when it is hard. So that is my collection of books for today for standing up to bullies, because I think that's such an important topic, an important social emotional learning topic to talk about with students, but it can be tricky. And that's why I love to use picture books, especially for SEL, because it shows students that other people, even if they are characters, go through this, and it shows them how the other characters deal with the situations. So that way, when it comes to when they have to face that situation or that problem, they can think back on what the character did, and it helps them get through that situation. And I think it's just an enjoyable way for students to learn about it too. Sometimes it can almost come off as a lecture if we're trying to just tell them what to do, what not to do. But by reading a story, discussing the story, and thinking back on it, it really helps them internalize those skills and be able to use them when it's that time in their own lives. And I have so many social emotional learning lessons to go along with picture books, including one for Molly Lou Melon in the Colorful Apple Book Club. I will leave a link to the book club down below in the description box so that you can join. You will have access to almost 200 read aloud lessons that you can just pull from when you need to be teaching a certain topic in any subject area: science, social studies, SEL, reading, or writing. And you can pull the picture book and the lessons completely done for you. All you need to do is read the book and have that discussion with your students. All the discussion points are laid out for you. The activities to go along with the book are included, as well as some hands-on task cards, craftivities, and even some games to go along with the book. So I will leave a link to that in the description box down below. I will also leave links to all of the books that we discussed today so that you can grab them, use them in your classroom either this month, the month of October, or any month out of the school year when you feel it is important to discuss in your classroom. If this video was helpful for you, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit that red subscribe button, as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss a video. Have a great week.